Welcome to Sleepy Science Channel, where curiosity drifts into calm and the wonders of nature flow like the gentle rhythm of the sea. Tonight, we journey far beneath the waves, into a world where sunlight fades and mysteries deepen. Down here, the water cools, the colors soften, and life takes on shapes beyond imagination. Beneath the ocean's glittering surface lies a vast, hidden realm that covers more than 2/3 of our planet. Yet, humanity has explored only a small fraction of it. In these deep waters, mountains taller than Everest rise unseen in the dark, coral forests sway like living cathedrals, and creatures of light and shadow glide through silent blue worlds untouched by time. In this quiet realm, the ordinary laws of life are rewritten. Here, existence stretches beyond what we can imagine, shaped by pressure, darkness, and the eternal dance of currents. Whales sing across entire oceans in voices that have echoed for millions of years. Tiny fish glow like lanterns in the deep, and jellyfish drift in slow, dreamlike movements, as if the sea itself were breathing. So, take a deep breath, let the rhythm of the ocean surround you, and sink slowly into this world of sleepy, wondrous facts from beneath the waves. Deep in the quiet folds of the sea lives a creature that has nearly unlocked the secret of immortality, the jellyfish Octopuses dornii. This tiny, translucent being begins its life as a drifting speck, growing into a graceful adult. Yet, when threatened by injury, illness, or the approach of old age, it performs a miracle of nature. Instead of dying, it transforms. Its cells reverse in time, changing back into their earliest form. It becomes young again, ready to begin life anew. Scientists call this ability biological immortality. No other creature on Earth performs this cycle so completely. It does not defeat time but flows with it, dying, rebirthing, and renewing in a rhythm as endless as the tides themselves. In a way, this small, fragile jellyfish carries within it the memory of eternity. Further down, in the dark abyss where light can no longer reach, another marvel awaits, the giant squid. For centuries, it existed only in the myths of sailors, whispered in stories of monstrous tentacles and shadowy shapes rising from the deep. But truth, as it turns out, is even stranger. The giant squid is real, a vast, intelligent creature perfectly adapted to a world of perpetual night. Its eyes are the largest known in the animal kingdom, each one as wide as a dinner plate, enormous windows into the blackness. They are built to catch even the faintest glimmer of light, perhaps from the bioluminescent flicker of prey or the ghostly outline of a passing whale. These colossal eyes, larger than a human head, reveal a world where light is as precious as breath. In this endless twilight, sight becomes survival. Every faint shimmer could mean the difference between predator and prey, between life and death. The giant squid, mysterious and majestic, drifts through the darkness with a grace that belies its size, a silent guardian of a world without sun. Moving closer to the shallower waters, another creature reveals the ocean's intelligence in a form unlike any other, the octopus. Each of its 8 arms is a marvel of control and sensitivity. Every arm is lined with hundreds of suction cups, each capable of not only grasping but tasting. When an octopus explores coral or brushes against the sand, it is not simply feeling its surroundings, it is sampling them. Its arms taste the chemistry of the sea, recognizing stone, shell, or prey in an instant. What makes it even more remarkable is that these arms act semi-independently. Each one can move, explore, and react without direct commands from the central brain. The octopus, in essence, is 8 minds working together, a network of thought flowing through muscle. This unique distribution of intelligence gives it a fluid kind of awareness, one that is alien yet strangely beautiful. It doesn't think as we do, it feels, reacts, and decides all at once. With each movement, the octopus becomes a living poem, a soft, silent, hidden within coral burrows lies a much smaller but equally astonishing creature, the mantis shrimp. Its body glows with colors too vivid for human eyes to fully perceive, reds, greens, blues, and ultraviolet shades invisible to us. Yet its beauty hides unimaginable power. The mantis shrimp's claws are nature's lightning bolts. When it strikes, its limbs move with such speed that they create a pocket of boiling vapor in the water. This bubble collapses with explosive force, releasing a shockwave powerful enough to shatter glass or crack open the shells of crabs. Scientists have measured these strikes at speeds nearing that of a handgun bullet. The impact is so fast that it generates a flash of light and sound, a miniature underwater explosion. And as if that were not extraordinary enough, the mantis shrimp also sees the world in a way we cannot comprehend. Its eyes detect polarized and ultraviolet light, perceiving a reality far richer and more complex than our own. In a single glance, it reads colors, depth, and movement with supernatural precision. The mantis shrimp is both artist and warrior, a jewel of the ocean armed with thunder. Resting quietly on the sea floor is another remarkable survivor, the sea cucumber. It may appear slow and unassuming, but its defenses are among the strangest in nature. When attacked, the sea cucumber ejects part of its internal organs through its body wall, casting out sticky threads that confuse and trap predators. Some species even release toxic filaments that can paralyze small fish. To us, it may look like an act of self-destruction, but for the sea cucumber, it is a renewal. Within weeks, it regrows everything it lost, stomach, intestines, and all. This miraculous regeneration is a lesson in resilience, a reminder that sometimes survival requires surrender. It does not fight to the death, it rebuilds patiently, quietly, becoming whole once more beneath the tranquil waves. Now listen carefully, a deep vibration hums through the water. It is not a machine, but a song. The blue whale, the largest creature ever to have lived on Earth, communicates in low, powerful tones that travel for hundreds of miles. These calls roll through the ocean like distant thunder, shaping an invisible network of sound. Through these songs, whales map their world, find companions, and navigate across vast distances. Some of their notes are so low that human ears cannot hear them, yet their vibrations can be felt through the bones. Each whale has its own distinct song, a voice as unique as a fingerprint. To other whales, these sounds say, "I am here." Across the vast emptiness of the ocean, they carry messages of companionship, courtship, and belonging. In the stillness of the deep, these voices echo like the breath of the planet itself, ancient and unending. Further into the darkness, another wonder unfolds, the anglerfish. Floating in the abyss, it carries a glowing lure, a tiny beacon of bacterial light that dangles from its head. This light is both trap and temptation. Prey, drawn by curiosity, swim close, only to vanish in a flash of movement. Yet, the anglerfish's greatest mystery is not its glowing lure but its love. In many species, the male is a fraction of the female's size, fragile and short-lived. When he finally finds her in the vast blackness of the deep, he latches onto her skin and never lets go. Over time, their bodies fuse together, his organs dissolve, his bloodstream merges with hers, and he becomes a permanent part of her body, providing sperm whenever needed. She nourishes him in return. Some females carry multiple fused males along their sides, tiny companions in a perpetual union of survival and reproduction. It is a love story of the abyss, strange, silent, and eternal. In shallower waters, beneath sunlit ripples, another symbol of intelligence and emotion glides, the dolphin. These sleek mammals communicate through an intricate language of whistles, clicks, and body movements. What's astonishing is that each dolphin has its own distinctive whistle, a unique pattern of sound that acts like a name. From the moment they are young, dolphins create and recognize their personal signature whistle, and they respond to it even after many years apart. When scientists play a recording of a dolphin's unique whistle, it immediately reacts, as though hearing its own name across the sea. This ability shows a deep sense of self-awareness, memory, and social intelligence. In the blue expanse, each dolphin sings its identity, a melody of consciousness that echoes through the waves. Among the smaller creatures of the reefs, one displays an unexpected creativity, the decorator crab. These tiny architects use the ocean's materials to design their own camouflage. They collect bits of sponge, coral, seaweed, and shell, attaching them carefully to their shells with tiny hook-like hairs. Some even encourage living sponges to grow over their backs, blending seamlessly into the environment. This partnership between crab and sea life creates living armor, a home and disguise in one. Each crab's decoration is unique, a small expression of instinctive artistry beneath the waves. In this world where survival depends on blending in, the decorator crab thrives by turning adaptation into art. Every layer of the ocean tells its own story of adaptation, intelligence, and resilience. From the immortal jellyfish to the singing whale, from the fierce mantis shrimp to the gentle sea cucumber, life beneath the surface reminds us that nature is both fragile and strong. In the deep sea, time stretches, pressure builds, and silence reigns, yet every creature finds its way to survive, to thrive, to become something extraordinary. The ocean is not just a place, it is a living, breathing universe of its own, vast and eternal. So, as you drift into stillness, imagine the soft pulse of the jellyfish glowing in the dark, the distant echo of the whale's song, the whisper of sand shifting under the current. The sea never sleeps, yet it holds the power to lull the mind into the calmest of dreams. Beneath its waves, the world continues, patient, beautiful, and endlessly alive. Let your mind drift beneath the surface, where sunlight fades into blue quiet, and the ocean begins its eternal dream. Down here, every ripple tells a story. Every creature moves in rhythm with time itself, patient and ancient. Tonight, let us descend gently into that hidden world, where evolution has shaped wonders both strange and serene. In the shadowed depths, there lives a crab with an unusual talent for style. The decorator crab carries pieces of its world wherever it goes. Bits of sponge, seaweed, shells, even tiny living anemones. Each is carefully chosen and attached to its shell with delicate precision. The sponge gains mobility and new feeding grounds, while the crab earns armor, camouflage, and protection from predators. No two decorator crabs ever look alike. Each one fashions its own defense, an instinctive expression of personality in a world of survival. Some carry sea anemones on their claws, brandishing them like living weapons, their stinging tentacles ready to strike. In this underwater realm, survival and creativity are inseparable, and these small crabs prove that nature itself can be an artist. In the gentle sway of seagrass meadows, another small miracle drifts upright, the seahorse. Delicate and dreamlike, it glides through its emerald home, its body shaped like the curl of a question mark. And indeed, the seahorse asks one of nature's most beautiful questions: what if the male gave birth? After an elegant courtship dance, two seahorses intertwine their tails, moving as one. When the moment arrives, the female transfers her eggs into a pouch on the male's abdomen. There, he nurtures them, regulates temperature, and supplies oxygen through a fine web of blood vessels. Weeks later, he goes into labor, releasing hundreds of miniature seahorses into the water, tiny, perfect replicas ready to begin their own gentle drift through life. This reversal of roles is no accident. It is a triumph of balance, where both parents share creation's burden, proving that in the sea, tenderness is a form of strength. Far to the north, in the icy darkness of the Atlantic, glides a creature older than the oldest forest, the Greenland shark. It moves through the black water with the patience of centuries, its heartbeat pulsing only once every 12 seconds. Scientists have found individuals that may have lived for over 400 years. When some of these sharks were born, Shakespeare was still alive. They grow only a few centimeters each year, feeding slowly on fish and seals, their flesh filled with natural antifreeze that makes them toxic unless specially treated. To live so long, in such cold silence, is a mystery. Perhaps time itself slows around them, allowing life to stretch across centuries. They drift through history as ghostly sentinels of endurance, living testaments to patience and the quiet power of stillness. Far below even them, in the lightless abyss, swims a predator shaped by darkness itself, the dragonfish. Sleek, black, and narrow as a shadow, it glows faintly with bioluminescent spots along its body, but its true weapon is hidden inside its mouth. Its teeth are perfectly transparent. Made of a special crystalline material, they reflect no light at all. Even when the dragonfish opens its jaws, it remains invisible, a hunter unseen. From a chin barbel, a small lure glows faintly, drawing unsuspecting prey close. When it strikes, the movement is instant and precise. It lives where pressure would crush steel, yet it thrives, armored in invisibility. The dragonfish is both ghost and predator, a masterpiece sculpted by eternal night. But not all fish are bound entirely to water. Along tropical shores, where the tide breathes in and out of muddy flats, the mud skipper breaks one of nature's quietest boundaries. With strong, muscular fins, it climbs roots, hops across land, and even scales rocks. Its skin and mouth are lined with tiny blood vessels that allow it to breathe air directly. In its awkward crawl lies a story billions of years old, the ancient transition from sea to land. Watching a mud skipper move is almost comical, yet profound. Each determined shuffle is an echo of the moment life first stepped ashore. And so, in every small movement, this fish carries the memory of evolution's boldest leap, the moment the ocean gave birth to the world above. In South America's slow, brown rivers lives another creature of power, the electric eel. It does not bite or chase. Instead, it commands the very spark of lightning. Its body contains thousands of special cells called electrolytes, capable of releasing electricity strong enough to stun prey, or even knock a horse unconscious. With one coordinated discharge, the eel can release up to 600 volts, sending a jolt through the water that paralyzes anything nearby. Yet it also uses gentler pulses to explore, sense, and communicate, creating a language of current and rhythm. When hunting, it wraps around its prey and fires rapid bursts that cause the victim's muscles to contract uncontrollably. A living conductor, the electric eel carries nature's thunder beneath its skin, a storm-made flesh, gliding quietly through muddy water. And then, rising into the open blue, we meet the largest creature to have ever lived on Earth, the blue whale. Vast and gentle, it moves with the grace of mountains drifting on water. Its tongue alone weighs as much as an elephant, and its heart is the size of a small car. Yet this colossal being feeds on life almost too small to see, tiny shrimp-like creatures called krill. Each day during feeding season, it consumes several tons, filtering seawater through plates of baleen like a living sieve. Its low, resonant calls can travel across entire oceans, songs that connect individuals hundreds of miles apart. Despite its unimaginable size, the blue whale is peaceful, calm, and slow, a breathing continent of life. In its steady heartbeat lies the pulse of the planet itself. Deeper still, where sunlight never touches, drifts a creature of shadows, the vampire squid. Its name conjures fear, but it is gentle, delicate, and ancient. Cloaked in dark red skin and webbing that stretches between its arms, it floats through the oxygen-poor twilight zone, surviving where almost nothing else can. When threatened, it performs a dazzling defense, not a cloud of black ink, but a burst of glowing mucus. The water fills with shimmering blue light, confusing predators and allowing escape. Tiny organs along its arms flicker like embers, while its body pulses softly with bioluminescent rhythm, fading in and out like breathing. The vampire squid is not a monster, but a living lantern, proof that beauty often hides in places untouched by light. Not all power in the ocean belongs to giants. Some of it fits in the palm of your hand. The pistol shrimp, small and unassuming, carries a weapon unlike any other. With a single snap of its claw, it unleashes a shockwave strong enough to kill prey instantly. The claw closes so fast that it creates a bubble, and when that bubble collapses, it produces a flash of light and a sound louder than a jet engine. For a split second, temperatures within the bubble reach nearly as hot as the surface of the sun. The shrimp's world vibrates with energy invisible to the human eye. This tiny creature turns water itself into thunder, a reminder that power does not depend on size, but on design. Across the ocean floor, life takes 1,000 unexpected forms. Some animals glow, others camouflage, some drift without moving for decades. The decorator crab continues to sculpt its tiny masterpieces. The seahorse still dances among seaweed. The Greenland shark glides through centuries. And the dragonfish, with its invisible teeth, remains a phantom in eternal night. Each one is a thread in the vast tapestry of ocean life, bound together by quiet purpose. The sea is not merely a place, it is a state of being. It teaches patience through the Greenland shark, creativity through the decorator crab, tenderness through the seahorse, and resilience through the vampire squid. Every heartbeat beneath the waves is slower, every motion deliberate. Down there, time is stretched, sound softened, and light becomes memory. So let the world above fall silent for a while. Imagine drifting beside these creatures in the calm blue dark. Hear the slow rhythm of the blue whale's heart, the faint crackle of the pistol shrimp's snap, the gentle bubbling of seahorses drifting through seagrass. The ocean is never truly still, yet it feels eternal. And in its depths, where light fades and life glows softly from within, each creature whispers the same ancient truth, that beauty lies not in perfection, but in adaptation, not in noise, but in silence, not in strength, but in peace. Thus ends our quiet descent into the ocean's heart. Beneath all its pressure and power, the sea remains a cradle of stillness, a dream without end. Let your thoughts drift beneath the waves, where sound fades, light softens, and life moves to the rhythm of the tides. In this vast underwater world, beauty often hides behind the strange. Every creature, from the smallest shrimp to the largest whale, holds a story shaped by evolution, time, and the patience of the sea. Tonight, we continue our quiet exploration, a journey through the deep where wonder never sleeps. The pistol shrimp is one of the ocean's smallest yet most astonishing engineers. Its claw, deceptively simple, can unleash a force of raw power that rivals lightning. But this tiny creature doesn't use its claw only for attack. It is also a tool of conversation. Within coral reefs, pistol shrimp communicate by producing rapid bursts and clicking sounds, messages carried through water like underwater Morse code. Entire colonies of these shrimps create a soft, crackling chorus that echoes across the reef, a rhythm of life, a whisper of existence. Their clicks remind us that communication in nature is not always through voice or song. Sometimes, it's found in vibrations, in pulses of sound hidden in the hush of the sea. In the deep and silent waters, stranger beings await, ribbon worms, elegant and alien. Long, ribbon-like bodies stretch through the darkness, sometimes longer than a person, moving with the grace of drifting silk. They are hunters, and their weapons are both beautiful and unsettling. From their mouths, a long proboscis can shoot outward like a living harpoon. In some species, this proboscis unrolls into a web of sticky threads that twist and knot around prey, binding it in a slow, mesmerizing embrace. Once the victim is trapped, the worm reels it in, swallowing it whole. Some ribbon worms carry venom strong enough to paralyze crabs instantly. Watching one hunt is to witness evolution's imagination in motion, a living thread weaving death and survival together. In the endless black of the abyss, even the simplest bodies can perform the most extraordinary acts of strategy and grace. Far above, where sunlight still dances on the waves, sea turtles begin their timeless journeys. For millions of years, they have crossed entire oceans, navigating from feeding grounds to nesting beaches with astonishing accuracy. Even after decades away, a turtle will return to the very same stretch of sand where it once hatched. The secret lies in their invisible sense, magnetoreception, and ability to detect Earth's magnetic field. To a turtle, this field forms a map written not in color or shape, but in the language of magnetism itself. The subtle pull and angle of the Earth guide them across thousands of miles. Even the tiniest hatchling, emerging under the starlit sky for the first time, instinctively turns toward the open sea, guided by an ancient compass built into its soul. In a world without roads or landmarks, these gentle travelers follow a map drawn by the planet's own heart. As the light fades into blue, certain sharks begin to glow. The chain cat shark and the swell shark carry a quiet light within them, their skin shimmering with a soft green fluorescence under the ocean's dim blue hue. This glow does not come from glowing bacteria, but from the sharks themselves. Their skin contains molecules that absorb light and re-emit it at a lower wavelength, painting them in ghostly patterns visible only to other sharks. In the darkness, they communicate through this hidden light, silent constellations drifting through the sea. Some scientists believe the glow helps camouflage them, blending their shapes against the faint light above. Others think it's a signal of recognition, a language written in radiance. To the human eye, the glow is nearly invisible. To the sharks, it is a world alive with soft, green fire. Deeper still, a fish gazes upward through a transparent head. The barrel-eye fish is as strange as it is delicate, its skull clear as glass, its two emerald green eyes moving independently within the dome. They can rotate to look forward or straight up, scanning for the silhouettes of prey against the faint light filtering down from above. Its head glows faintly with internal organs that shimmer softly like lanterns. For years, scientists thought the barrel-eyes eyes were fixed in place, until deep-sea cameras revealed the truth. They can pivot freely, allowing the fish to watch the world from two directions at once. The transparent dome shields its sensitive vision from the stinging tentacles of jellyfish, its primary prey. The result is a creature that seems less like an animal and more like a dream, a living window through which the ocean peers at itself. In warmer waters, a quiet traveler begins its mysterious journey, the eel. Born in the hidden depths of the Sargasso Sea, tiny transparent larvae drift for years, carried by the ocean's invisible highways. Eventually, they reach the rivers of Europe, Africa, and North America, where they transform into sleek, muscular adults. For decades, they live in fresh water, feeding and growing in secret. Then, one day, something ancient calls them home. They stop eating, their bodies change color, and they begin their final voyage, thousands of miles back to the sea of their birth. There, they spawn once and die. No one has ever witnessed this event in the wild. For centuries, even the greatest naturalists could not explain where eels came from or where they went. Their lives remain part mystery, part miracle, a cycle of transformation that begins and ends in the same endless sea. Far below, in the crushing depths, lives a creature often mocked for its appearance, the blobfish. To us, it looks soft, sagging, almost cartoonish. But this strange form is an illusion, born from misunderstanding. In its natural home, thousands of feet below the surface, the blobfish is perfectly designed for life under pressure. It has no swim bladder to control buoyancy, relying instead on a gelatinous body nearly equal in density to seawater. This allows it to hover effortlessly above the seafloor, conserving energy. When brought to the surface, where pressure is far lower, its body expands and collapses, losing its smooth shape. What we see as ugly is simply a creature out of its element. In the quiet of the deep, the blobfish is sleek, calm, and elegant. Its story reminds us that beauty depends on context, that perfection exists not in form, but in balance. Elsewhere among the reefs and tide pools, starfish move slowly across the sand, their arms tracing patterns of quiet persistence. A starfish can lose a limb and simply grow it back. Some species can even regenerate their entire bodies from a single surviving arm, as long as part of the central disc remains. This process takes months, sometimes years, but it never stops. Every cell, every nerve, every muscle is rebuilt with patient precision. Scientists study these abilities to unlock the secrets of regeneration, to learn how humans might one day restore lost limbs or heal spinal injuries. For the starfish, though, it is simply life. To break and rebuild, to lose and recover, this is nature's quiet rhythm. Each lost piece becomes a beginning again, a soft echo of the ocean's endless will to heal itself. And then, there is the hagfish, ancient, jawless, and endlessly strange. It glides along the seafloor in the darkness, its body slick and slender, its skin lined with hundreds of tiny pores. When threatened, it releases clouds of slime that expand instantly into thick, gelatinous threads, enough to choke the gills of any predator that dares attack. Within seconds, the water turns into a curtain of mucus, and the hagfish slips away. To clean itself, it ties its body into a knot and slides the loop along its length, scraping away the slime in a single smooth motion. It is grotesque, but brilliant. A design so effective that scientists study it to create new materials, fibers stronger than nylon, modeled after hagfish mucus. These creatures are scavengers, feeding on the remains of the dead and decaying, recycling life back into the ecosystem. Unchanged for hundreds of millions of years, the hagfish endures as a reminder that even the strangest things have purpose. In the frozen waters of the Arctic swims a creature of myth, the narwhal. At first glance, it looks almost imaginary, with a long spiral tusk rising from its head like a unicorn's horn. But this is no fantasy. The tusk is actually a tooth, an elongated canine that grows straight through the upper lip, twisting as it extends. Some males even grow two. Inside the tusk are millions of nerve endings, making it one of the most sensitive organs in the animal kingdom. Scientists believe narwhals use it to sense changes in temperature, pressure, and salinity, perhaps even as a tool for communication or dominance. Their social gatherings beneath the ice are quiet, filled with gentle clicks and whistles. In the pale northern light, their tusks glimmer like frozen lightning, turning myth into reality. The narwhal reminds us that wonder still swims in the coldest corners of the world, where science and legend meet beneath the ice. Back among the coral reefs, the pistol shrimp continues its crackling song, bursts of sound that ripple like tiny thunderclaps. Its claw snaps, its rhythm continues, and the ocean hums softly around it. From glowing sharks to transparent fish, from regenerating starfish to ancient hagfish, the sea holds life in forms we can barely imagine. Every creature we've met tonight tells a story of patience, invention, adaptation, and survival. Beneath the surface, there are no mistakes in nature's design, only harmony written in forms both familiar and strange. Here in the quiet dark, beauty takes many shapes: the shimmer of a shark, the pulse of an eel, the glow of the deep. Each one a fragment of a much larger truth, that life, no matter how alien, belongs exactly where it is. And so, as the currents slow and the sounds of the reef fade into silence, the ocean rests again. In its heart, every spark of life continues to drift, to breathe, to endure. The sea remains infinite, a living dream, filled with light, shadow, and the endless hum of creation. Among coral reefs, the parrotfish ends each day with a ritual as gentle as a sigh. As dusk settles, it begins to secrete a thin cocoon of clear mucus, a delicate, shimmering bubble that envelopes its body like a sleeping bag made of moonlight. Inside this bubble, the parrotfish rests safely through the night. The film hides its scent from lurking predators like moray eels, making it nearly invisible to their searching senses. Some scientists even believe the cocoon acts like an alarm, its vibrations warning the fish if danger draws near. By morning, the parrotfish simply slips free from its glistening shield and glides away into daylight. Beneath the reef, this nightly act feels familiar, a creature tucking itself in before sleep, wrapped in a blanket of its own making, resting beneath the gentle sway of corals and current. Hidden within the body of the moray eel lies one of nature's strangest designs, a second set of jaws. Known as pharyngeal jaws, they sit deep inside the throat, waiting like a secret weapon. When the eel captures prey with its outer jaws, the inner set shoots forward, grabs the struggling meal, and pulls it inward in one swift motion. It's the very mechanism that inspired the terrifying alien creatures of science fiction, yet here, it is pure reality. This extraordinary design allows moray eels to feed within narrow coral tunnels where suction feeding fails. Watching one hunt is both eerie and mesmerizing, a dance of two mouths, perfectly synchronized. Despite their sharp teeth and serpent-like form, most morays are shy, preferring the shadows. During the day, they rest in cool crevices, heads peeking out just enough to watch the world drift by. In the quiet of the reef, they are the patient hunters, ancient, elegant, and utterly at home in the twilight of their coral maze. If you look closely at the seafloor, you might find a creature that looks like a walking skeleton made of glass, the sea spider. Fragile yet enduring, sea spiders live in oceans across the world, from warm tropical shallows to icy Antarctic depths. They are not true spiders but distant relatives, shaped by evolution into slender, spindly forms. Their bodies are so small that most of their organs, their gut, their reproductive system, extend into their legs. This strange design helps them stay light and efficient, allowing oxygen and nutrients to flow gently through their delicate limbs. In the cold, polar waters, some grow as large as dinner plates, gliding slowly across the ocean floor. They move like whispers, fragile but unyielding, proving that even the most delicate beings can be remarkably strong. They are the quiet architects of the deep, living proof that strength often hides within stillness. And then there are the squid, masters of illusion. Their skin is alive with color and light. Tiny cells called chromatophores, iridophores, and leucophores shimmer beneath the surface, reflecting and refracting light in dazzling ways. By expanding or contracting these cells, squid can shift hues in an instant, from ghostly pale to fiery red, from invisibility to brilliance. Their patterns ripple like liquid lightning across their skin. Some use these flashes to speak, to warn rivals, to attract mates, or to coordinate hunts with their kind. Others use it to disappear, blending perfectly into the moving water around them. Deep beneath the surface, bioluminescent squid take this magic further, generating light from within their bodies, creating constellations that move through darkness. Each pulse of light tells a story of survival, communication, and beauty, a living artwork painted across the endless blue. Beneath the golden shallows of Shark Bay, Australia, another secret unfolds, one of intelligence and culture. Dolphins here have learned to use tools. Certain females pluck sea sponges from the seafloor and wear them over their beaks like soft gloves. With these natural tools, they probe the sandy bottom for hidden fish, their snouts protected from sharp rocks and stinging animals. What makes this behavior remarkable is that it isn't instinct, it's learned. Mothers teach it to their daughters, generation after generation, passing down not just survival skills but tradition. These spongers, as scientists call them, form their own cultural groups, distinct from other dolphin pods. In these peaceful waters, we glimpse something profound, evidence that culture and teaching are not uniquely human but part of the great web of life. Beneath the waves, intelligence blooms quietly, shimmering like sunlight on water. Deeper still, we find the leatherback turtle, a titan of endurance. It is the largest of all sea turtles, yet its shell isn't hard. Instead, it's flexible and leathery, built to withstand the crushing pressure of the deep. Leatherbacks dive farther than nearly any other air-breathing creature, sometimes more than 4,000 feet down, deeper than many whales. In those frigid depths, they hunt jellyfish, their throats lined with backward-pointing spines that trap the slippery prey. Their bodies adapt to survive the chill and the pressure. Blood chemistry shifts, oxygen is conserved, and each stroke through the water becomes slow and powerful. When a leatherback finally rises to the surface, it exhales a soft mist, a breath drawn from the bottom of the world. For millions of years, these turtles have crossed entire oceans, returning faithfully to the same beaches where their ancestors once nested. They are living travelers through time, ancient navigators following invisible maps written in Earth's magnetic field. Floating among the waving grasses is the seahorse, a creature of calm and grace. Unlike most fish, it swims upright, moving not with speed but with gentle precision. Its tail, coiled like a spring, is prehensile, meaning it can grasp and hold. When currents rise, the seahorse wraps its tail around coral or seaweed, anchoring itself to safety. The structure of its tail is a masterpiece of natural engineering, square, bony plates interlocked in a pattern that makes it both flexible and nearly unbreakable. Scientists study this design to build better robots and protective gear. But beyond the science, there's beauty in its stillness. The seahorse drifts slowly, content to stay where it is, holding tight as the ocean moves around it. It reminds us that sometimes, strength is not in movement, but in staying still, in holding on gently to one's place in the world. Beneath layers of sand, hidden from sight, lives one of the ocean's oldest inhabitants, the ocean quahog clam. These quiet creatures can live for over 500 years, their shells marked with the slow rhythm of centuries. Some alive today were filtering seawater long before the modern world began. Each year leaves a thin ring upon their shells, a record of seasons, of climate, of time itself. Inside, their lives move at a near standstill, metabolism slowed to a whisper, heartbeats spaced like the ticking of distant clocks. Scientists study them to uncover ancient patterns in the planet's climate, for in their shells lie the coded stories of centuries past. When one opens, its inner surface gleams like pearl, polished by patience and time. The ocean quahog teaches a quiet lesson, that true strength lies not in haste, but in endurance. Along warm, tropical beaches, another scene unfolds, the dance of the fiddler crabs. As the tide recedes, the sand comes alive with their movement. Each male crab, armed with one oversized claw, waves it rhythmically in the air. The gesture seems playful, almost comical, but it's a complex signal, a performance of strength and beauty meant to attract a mate. Each wave glitters in the sun like a tiny flag of life. Females watch from nearby, observing every motion, every rhythm. When rivals approach, the waving turns to dueling, claws clashing in bursts of sand and sound. Yet the waving itself, delicate, deliberate, and unique to each species, is what carries their message across the beach. Every shoreline has its own language of movement, its own silent symphony of gestures. In this dance, the ocean's rhythm meets the pulse of life, each wave of the claw echoing the waves of the sea. As night falls over the reefs and tides quiet their song, all these lives continue their ancient rituals, glowing, breathing, resting beneath the moonlit water. From parrotfish tucked in silk cocoons to turtles crossing entire oceans, from squids painting the dark with living light to clams counting the centuries in silence, the ocean hums with slow, eternal motion. Every creature, no matter how strange or small, carries a piece of the sea's unending story, one of survival, balance, and peace. Beneath the warm hum of the tide, where sunlight drifts like liquid glass and sand shimmers in muted gold, life moves in rhythms older than memory. Every grain, every ripple, every slow movement of water carries a secret story. Down here, time loses its meaning. The world hums softly, a whisper of motion and stillness combined. The sand beneath the waves is alive. Invisible to the human eye, it breathes with tiny creatures, millions of them, performing their ancient, endless dance. These microbe worlds move in harmony with the ocean's pulse, weaving patterns that have existed since the dawn of life. The sea is not silent. It is filled with the hum of hidden lives, the faint crackle of shrimp, the sigh of shifting shells, and the slow movement of beings we can scarcely imagine. Among these quiet dancers lives a creature unlike any other, the emerald sea slug, Alicia chlorotica. It glows with a green so deep and unreal that it seems to belong to another world. But its color does not come from pigment. It comes from the light itself. This slug has learned an impossible trick. It can photosynthesize like a plant. When the slug feeds on algae, it does more than eat, it steals. From its meal, it takes the chloroplasts, the microscopic engines of sunlight, and stores them within its own cells. Scientists call this phenomenon kleptoplasty, a word that means theft of light. Through this living theft, the sea slug becomes something entirely new, a fusion between plant and animal. For months, even without food, it survives by basking in the light that filters through shallow waves. Each cell hums quietly, converting sunlight into energy. When the sea glows faintly green, the slug becomes almost invisible, blending perfectly into the fields of seaweed around it. Its soft leaf-like body mirrors the algae it lives among, hiding it from the gaze of predators. In a world that loves divisions, animal or plant, predator or prey, this small, radiant creature reminds us that life refuses to stay in categories. Evolution is not rigid, it is imaginative. It bends and blurs, creating forms that challenge what we think we know. The emerald slug drifts softly in the water, shining with borrowed light, carrying the sun inside its body like a quiet secret. Far out in warmer seas, a very different creature moves with purpose, the hammerhead shark. At first glance, it seems almost comical, with its wide, flat head stretching like wings from side to side. But that shape is not foolish, it is genius. It is the design of evolution at its most precise. Each eye of the hammerhead sits at the far ends of its flattened skull, granting it nearly 360 degrees of vision. It can see above, below, and on both sides all at once. In a realm where danger and opportunity swim in every direction, this is no small gift. Its eyes, constantly scanning, let it map the ocean in sweeping, silent arcs. Beneath the surface of its strange head lies a network of special sensors, tiny electric detectors that can feel the faintest pulse of life. Even the smallest fish hiding under sand sends out whispers of electricity as its heart beats. The hammerhead sensors capture these whispers, letting it see, with currents invisible to us. When it swims, it sweeps its head side to side, scanning the world like a radar dish. Every movement is measured, every glide deliberate. It is not a beast of fury, but of grace. In the fading blue light, its body glides like a shadowed aircraft. At dusk, in warm tropical seas, hammerheads sometimes gather in great schools. Dozens move as one, turning and rolling in unison through the water. The sight is mesmerizing, a ballet of precision and power, unfolding in silence. Each shark a note in an unseen symphony, tuned to the rhythm of the sea. Their design is not just for hunting, it is for balance. Every curve, every motion, speaks of perfection honed by time. The hammerhead does not rage against the water, it listens to it. In its strange beauty, it is both alien and exact, a living instrument of the ocean's invisible frequencies. Deep below, in the cold and crushing dark, another survivor waits, the giant isopod. It crawls across the seabed like a slow-moving relic of prehistory, its pale lavender shell gleaming softly in the blackness. It resembles something we know from childhood, the humble pill bug that hides under stones, but this one is massive, as long as a human arm. Here, where light never reaches, the giant isopod lives a life of patience. It is a scavenger, feeding on whatever drifts down from the upper world, the fallen bodies of whales, fish, and squid. In this frozen desert, food is a miracle, and survival is a long waiting game. When the isopod does find a feast, it eats until its shell bulges tight. Then it may go for years without another meal, surviving on stored energy and stillness. Its eyes are vast, adapted to catch the faintest glimmer of bioluminescence, a flash from a distant jellyfish, or the spark of a tiny worm. Despite its alien form, it is a creature of quiet dignity. Its slow crawl across the ocean floor is a reminder that endurance, too, is a kind of intelligence. Life, in every shape, finds a way to persist. The giant isopod endures where few others can, under pressures that would crush steel, in a darkness that has no end. It is the ocean's patient witness, a sentinel of the deep's eternal night. Closer to the coral reefs, where light dances through water in ribbons of gold and blue, another sound fills the air. It's a faint popping, almost like static, an invisible conversation. Some species of herring communicate in the strangest way imaginable, through bubbles. By releasing small bursts of gas from their swim bladders through special ducts, they create faint, high-pitched noises, quick, repetitive ticks that can be heard by other fish. Scientists have named these sounds fast repetitive ticks, or FRTs. To us, it may seem comical, but in the dark world beneath the waves, this is communication. These sounds might help fish stay together at night when visibility drops or warn each other of nearby predators. The noise carries surprisingly far underwater, rippling through the shoal like a coded message in the dark. It's a reminder that even the simplest life forms find ways to speak. The sea is full of voices, some sung, some whispered, some bubbled quietly into the night. Communication doesn't always need words. Sometimes it's just the rhythm of life itself passing between creatures who share the same vast home. In the shadowed rivers of South America, a pulse of energy flickers. Electric eels glide through muddy water, their long bodies coiled with stored lightning. When they hunt or defend themselves, they unleash bursts of electricity powerful enough to stun prey or ward off predators. But what's even more extraordinary is what happens when they come together. Observers have seen multiple eels line up side by side, synchronizing their discharges to create a combined electric field. The result is a living current, an organized pulse of power flowing through the water like a shared heartbeat. This cooperation is rare in nature. It's as if the eels become parts of a greater organism, a single conductor of energy. When they attack, the surge ripples outward, enveloping small fish in an invisible wave of electricity. Even a lone eel is a marvel of biology. Its body is divided into specialized organs that act like rows of tiny batteries. When it strikes, it can generate hundreds of volts in a single moment, all controlled by precise muscle movement. In a world where sight fails and sound is muffled, electricity becomes its language, its weapon, and its vision. These eels are the ocean's lightning, woven into muscle and scale. Not far from the surface, where sunlight filters through blue water in soft columns, a smaller miracle unfolds, the birth of 1,000 baby seahorses. Unlike most creatures of the sea, it is the male seahorse who gives birth. When the time comes, he trembles with effort, his pouch tightening as he releases a swirling cloud of newborns into the water. Each one, no larger than a grain of rice, is a perfect miniature of its parents, complete with curling tail and tiny snout. Sometimes hundreds are born at once, drifting upward through shafts of light like living confetti. For a brief, shimmering moment, the ocean is filled with new life. And then, just as quickly they are gone, swept away by the current to face the vastness alone. The father rests, his pouch empty and pale. The waves rock him gently as he recovers from the effort. His job is done. He has given life to the sea, and the sea takes them where it will. It is a scene both tender and heartbreaking, a reminder of the balance between care and release, between creation and surrender. In that floating constellation of newborns, the ocean celebrates another quiet dawn. Further offshore, in tropical waters as clear as glass, something vast rises from the blue. A dark shadow glides beneath the surface, then suddenly leaps into the air. It's a manta ray, one of the most graceful creatures alive. With wings that can stretch over 20 feet, the manta ray soars from the sea in a wide, slow arc. The splash as it lands echoes across the waves like the beat of a drum. No one knows exactly why they leap. Some believe it's a form of communication, a signal to others in the group. Others think it's courtship, or simply play. Whatever the reason, it's a spectacle of beauty. For that single heartbeat in the air, the manta ray connects two worlds, sea and sky. Its smooth body glistens with sunlight before it vanishes again into the blue depths below. These rays move like living kites, gliding through water with effortless grace. They feed on plankton and tiny creatures, filtering life from the ocean in silent loops. Watching them feels like watching thought itself take shape, slow, fluid, and endlessly calm. And then, there is the whale shark, the largest fish in the sea, yet one of the gentlest beings ever known. Its mouth can open wide enough to swallow a small car, yet it feeds only on the smallest creatures, plankton drifting invisibly in the current. Each slow glide through the water draws thousands of gallons through its massive jaws, filtering out tiny life forms in a continuous, peaceful motion. Its skin is marked with white spots that shimmer like stars on a dark night. Each pattern is unique, like a fingerprint, making every whale shark one of a kind. Divers who encounter them describe the experience not as frightening, but humbling. To swim beside a whale shark is to float next to a moving cathedral, a monument of calm and motion. These giants migrate thousands of miles, following the invisible roads of ocean temperature and current. They are gentle travelers of endless blue, reminders that strength can coexist with peace. In their slow, rhythmic movement, the sea seems to breathe. And finally, among coral and sand, there drifts one of the ocean's cleverest residents, the octopus. Some species have learned to collect coconut shells, carrying them across the seafloor for shelter. They use them as armor, or as portable homes, tucking themselves inside when danger nears. This is intelligence in its purest form, problem-solving born of survival. The octopus is a creature of adaptability. With its soft body, it can squeeze through cracks no wider than its eye. Its skin changes color and texture in an instant, allowing it to vanish against rock or coral. It can mimic, hide, and plan. It dreams, learns, and remembers. Each movement of its arms is guided by independent control. Each sucker can taste and feel the world around it. The octopus lives in a fluid state between curiosity and caution, exploring yet retreating, observing yet blending. It is a fitting final guardian of the sea, a symbol of all the mystery, intelligence, and imagination that dwell beneath the waves. Down here, in the world beneath our own, every creature, from slug to shark, from ray to octopus, tells a story of wonder. They are reminders that life, no matter how strange, always finds a way to glow, to move, to endure. The ocean does not hurry. It teaches us patience, balance, and the quiet power of coexistence. And so, as the tides roll softly in eternal rhythm, the stories continue, endless, hidden, and infinitely alive. Beneath the warm tropical waters, an extraordinary scene unfolds on the ocean floor. The veined octopus, a small but remarkably clever creature, glides softly across the sand. In its arms, it carries two hollow coconut shells. The sight seems strangely human, deliberate, thoughtful, and purposeful. Scientists who first observed it could scarcely believe what they were seeing. The octopus doesn't simply stumble upon the shells. It gathers them carefully, stacking one inside the other like a craftsman preparing his tools. When danger threatens, the octopus swiftly retreats inside, sealing itself within this improvised home, safe and hidden from view. When the coast is clear, it emerges again, dragging the shells along for future use. This act is more than instinct. It is planning. It is foresight. Among all known invertebrates, the veined octopus stands alone in this behavior, the true use of tools. Watching it scuttle across the sea floor, its arms curved protectively around its movable shelter, feels like watching thought itself made visible. Within that single action lies something profound, awareness of safety, of self, and of time yet to come. The ocean, in all its depth, holds minds of quiet brilliance. Minds that, in silence, rewrite what we believe intelligence to be. In the shimmering coral gardens of the Pacific, another marvel of adaptability drifts through the water. The clownfish, bright orange and white, makes its home among the soft, waving tentacles of the sea anemone. The anemone's stings ward off predators, offering the fish a fortress. In return, the clownfish keeps its host clean, brushing away debris and parasites. Within this partnership, an entire society thrives. Each anemone colony follows a clear hierarchy: a dominant female, a smaller breeding male, and several even smaller, non-breeding helpers. The balance is delicate but enduring. When the female dies, the system does not collapse. Instead, the breeding male undergoes a complete transformation. His hormones shift, his body changes, and he becomes the new female. The next largest helper then becomes the new male, and the cycle continues seamlessly. This natural flexibility ensures that the anemone always has a breeding pair to sustain life within its protective tendrils. In this fluid dance of biology, gender itself is not fixed but adaptable, a practical solution born from the sea's quiet wisdom. Watching the clownfish dart through the filtered light, surrounded by glowing anemone arms, one feels the deep calm of nature's design, a living rhythm of change and continuity. Far to the north, in the cool forests of kelp, another tender behavior unfolds beneath the moonlight. Sea otters, with their round faces and dense fur, float gently on their backs, drifting among strands of golden brown seaweed. Often, they reach out and clasp paws with one another, linking into small groups that drift together as they sleep. This behavior, known as rafting, keeps them from drifting apart in the ocean currents. Each otter's fur is a marvel of nature's engineering, over 1 million hairs per square inch, the densest of any animal. It traps air close to their skin, keeping them warm even in icy waters. Before resting, the otters spend long moments grooming, combing air into their coats with their tiny forepaws, ensuring every strand is in place. Then, as they close their eyes, they float in peace, tethered by kelp and by touch. To human eyes, their hand-holding seems an act of love, and in a way, it is, a gentle expression of trust in a cold and moving world. The moonlight glints off their fur, ripples shimmer softly around them, and the ocean hums with quiet continuity. Deeper in the sea, in realms few have seen, lives a creature capable of rewriting its own biology. Certain species of squid possess an ability that astonishes science itself. They can edit their RNA. In most creatures, DNA provides a fixed blueprint for life. RNA merely follows instructions. But squid break this rule. They modify the instructions as they go, changing the messages sent to their cells. This extraordinary power allows squid to adapt in real time to shifting temperatures, pressures, and environments. It is as though they are rewriting the code of life while it runs. No other complex animal on Earth is known to do this on such a scale. Within their tissues, a quiet intelligence operates not only in behavior but in the molecules themselves. It is as if evolution gifted the squid a second mind, one written into their very cells. They glide through the water like living algorithms, editing themselves to match the ocean's changing moods. In this grand theater of life, they are not simply performers. They are editors, constantly revising the script of survival. In the strange and hidden corners of the sea, another creature finds a most unusual home. The pearlfish, slender, translucent, and eel-like, lives inside the body of a sea cucumber. To enter, it slips through the cucumber's rear opening and settles within its digestive tract. It sounds bizarre, even unsettling, but within that fleshy chamber, the pearlfish finds safety. There, it hides from predators, leaving only at night to search for food. Some species of pearlfish live alone. Others share their hosts, coexisting in pairs or small groups. And though it may seem parasitic, many cause their hosts little harm. They nibble only small bits of tissue or organic matter. To the human mind, the idea of living within another animal's body feels grotesque. But in the ocean, it is simply another form of balance. For the pearlfish, the sea cucumber offers warmth and security. In return, the host continues its life undisturbed, a quiet partnership within the vast web of marine coexistence. Life in the deep, it seems, always finds refuge, even in the most unexpected of places. In the shallows of Southeast Asia, a small silverfish lurks among mangrove roots, watching the world above. The archerfish, no longer than a human hand, is one of the ocean's most remarkable hunters. Its eyes are tuned perfectly to the distortion of light at the water's surface. When it spots an insect resting on a leaf or branch above, it pauses, calculating, adjusting for refraction. Then, with a sharp contraction of its gills and tongue, it fires a jet of water with pinpoint precision. The shot arcs upward, striking the target and knocking it cleanly into the water, where the fish eagerly catches its prize. The accuracy is breathtaking. Archerfish can hit moving targets from several feet away. Young fish practice repeatedly, missing often, learning the subtle art of light and motion until they become masters of this natural ballistics. It is a perfect marriage of instinct and learning, nature's engineers in miniature, solving physical problems with biological precision. Every successful strike is a triumph of perception, a reminder that even the smallest creatures can wield incredible intelligence when shaped by the ocean's hand. Far below, where sunlight fades and silence reigns, lies a scene both haunting and full of life. When a whale dies, its body sinks slowly through the water, descending into the dark. When it finally settles on the seafloor, it becomes what scientists call a whale fall, an island of abundance in the cold abyss. For decades, this fallen giant sustains a thriving ecosystem. Among the first to arrive are the bone-eating worms, known as oostacs. These strange, delicate beings resemble tiny flowers more than animals. They have no mouths, no stomachs. Instead, they extend root-like filaments deep into the whale's bones, dissolving fat and protein with the help of symbiotic bacteria. The males, microscopic in size, live within the bodies of the females, existing solely to fertilize eggs. Around them gather crabs, snails, and scavenging eels, an entire community built upon what once lived large. In this quiet transformation, death becomes nourishment. Decay becomes creation. Even in the deepest waters, where pressure crushes and light never reaches, life endures. It finds renewal in the bones of giants, growing silently in the dark. The ocean teaches, over and over, that nothing in nature is wasted. Every ending is a beginning waiting to bloom. High in the cold northern seas, another voice joins the chorus of the deep. The beluga whale, often called the canary of the ocean, is among the most vocal of all marine mammals. Their calls echo beneath the ice, whistles, clicks, and rhythmic bursts of sound that weave through the water like song. They use these sounds to navigate, to bond, and to explore the frozen world around them. But among their many talents lies something truly astonishing. Some belugas can mimic human speech. In aquariums, divers have heard muffled voices echoing through the water, only to realize that the sounds came not from humans, but from the whales themselves. One beluga, named NOC, became famous for this ability. His rhythmic tones so closely resembled human words that researchers initially thought a person was speaking. Belugas possess flexible lips and nasal cavities that allow them to shape sound with precision. Their mimicry reveals not only intelligence but curiosity, a reaching out across species, as if they wish to understand us as much as we long to understand them. In the wild, their voices carry through icy waters for miles, a living symphony of connection and emotion. The beluga's song is not merely communication. It is a reminder that the line between human and animal minds is thinner than we think. And in the coral realms where color never fades, another secret lies hidden in light. Some shrimp, small and unassuming by day, transform into glowing jewels under ultraviolet vision. To human eyes, their shells appear plain. But under UV light, they blaze with intricate fluorescent patterns, ribbons of green, blue, and red that shimmer like secret codes. Scientists believe these luminous markings are a private language, invisible to predators but visible to those who share their spectrum. The shrimp may use them to find mates, to warn rivals, or to blend seamlessly into the vibrant corals that surround them. It is communication written in wavelengths we cannot see, a reminder that our human perception captures only a fraction of the ocean's beauty. The sea is full of quiet marvels. Each creature, from the tool-using octopus to the singing beluga, from the hand-holding otters to the glowing shrimp, tells a story of intelligence, adaptation, and grace. In every ripple and current, life has found a way to thrive. And as we listen, in stillness, the ocean reveals its truths, not through noise or spectacle, but through the endless calm rhythm of being alive. One species, the anemone shrimp, glows like stained glass when viewed through filters that mimic shrimp vision. Its body shimmers with delicate transparency, a mosaic of refracted light and living color. This hidden luminescence helps it blend perfectly with the glowing corals around it, corals that pulse and flare in the same spectral hues, creating the illusion that the shrimp has melted into the reef itself. In this radiant camouflage, it becomes part of the coral's heartbeat, vanishing into color, turning light into safety. The ocean, in truth, is filled with ultraviolet messages, patterns invisible to the human eye, constellations of living light that shine silently beyond our perception. These shrimp live entirely in that unseen spectrum, translating brightness into language, reflection into rhythm, their bodies speaking in flashes of wavelengths only other shrimp can read. In the sun-dappled shallows, they shimmer in coded brilliance, whispering through water in a vocabulary made not of sound but of light. To the human eye, they are small, unremarkable creatures. But to one another, they are radiant beacons, luminous and articulate, their movements like sentences written in the shimmer of the sea. Far below them, in deeper water, another creature glides like a silver ribbon, the oarfish, longer than a bus, delicate and spectral. It is a legend come to life, a serpent of silver that moves upright through the deep, rippling like silk in a windless world. For centuries, sailors who glimpsed it rising through the darkness told stories of sea serpents, dragons of the deep, omens of storm and quake. Yet the truth is gentler, and perhaps even stranger. The oarfish is a peaceful plankton feeder, a ghostly traveler of the twilight zone, where sunlight fades into mystery. It rises toward the surface only when sick or dying, its long body gleaming like a fallen piece of moonlight. Scientists believe these delicate giants can sense tremors in the seafloor, their silver nerves attuned to the planet's heartbeat. Some say they appear before earthquakes, heralds of the earth shifting below. Whether that is truth or legend, the oarfish remains one of the ocean's great enigmas, a silvery thread connecting myth and reality, woven through the deep fabric of the sea. On ancient shores where waves whisper against time itself, horseshoe crabs crawl slowly through the surf. Their bodies are hard, rounded shields, their tails spiked but harmless. They are living fossils, creatures unchanged for hundreds of millions of years. Their blood runs blue, not red, because it is copper-based, not iron-based, carrying oxygen in a different chemistry entirely. That blue blood is not just strange, it is miraculous. Within it is a compound so sensitive to bacterial toxins that modern medicine relies on it to test the safety of every vaccine, every intravenous fluid, every surgical implant. Without these quiet survivors, sterile medicine would be far riskier. They have outlasted continents, endured ice ages, and survived mass extinctions. Each night, beneath a rising moon, they return to the waves, bearing the chemistry of survival written in blue. Though they look alien, they are gentle scavengers, patient as the tides. They are bridges between eras, creatures of the prehistoric sea who still breathe in the modern world. Not far away, another wonder lurks in coral caves, the mantis shrimp, a small predator with vision beyond imagination. To human eyes, the world of color ends with violet, but to the mantis shrimp, that's just the beginning. It sees ultraviolet, polarized, and even circularly polarized light. While humans have 3 kinds of photoreceptors in our eyes, the mantis shrimp has up to 16. Its view of the world is a blinding kaleidoscope of hues, a reality layered with dimensions we cannot begin to picture. With this extraordinary sight, mantis shrimp communicate through secret patterns on their shells, colors invisible to predators but perfectly clear to one another. They can spot hidden prey under sand, detect invisible reflections, and perhaps even perceive the electrical dance of molecules on coral. To a mantis shrimp, the ocean must blaze with endless light, a living storm of color, geometry, and energy. We can only imagine what it feels like to see through such eyes, but perhaps that's the point. The world, even as we know it, is infinitely richer than our perception allows. Near the ocean floor, flatfish rest in perfect disguise. They begin life like any ordinary fish, symmetrical, with one eye on each side of their head. But as they grow, one of those eyes begins a slow migration, sliding across the skull until it joins the other on the same side. Bones twist and shift. The body reshapes itself entirely. In that transformation lies a strange beauty, evolution sculpting an animal to match its destiny. The young fish drifts through water like a creature from a dream, half-formed, its moving eye a living metamorphosis. When the change is complete, it settles onto the seafloor, lying sideways, invisible against sand and stone. Its body becomes the color of its surroundings, its stillness complete. Watching one vanish into the seabed is to see perfection born of strangeness, symmetry sacrificed for survival, evolution painted in quiet patience. In the shadowed depths, sharks move with purpose and grace. They are ancient navigators, equipped with senses so refined they can detect the faint pulse of a heartbeat beneath sand. Along their snouts lie small, gel-filled pores called the ampullae of Lorenzini, delicate biological instruments tuned to the faintest electric currents. Through them, a shark can sense the muscle flicker of hidden fish, the magnetic lines of the earth itself. Some can detect a voltage as tiny as a billionth of a volt. To a shark, the ocean is not dark, it hums with the soft, invisible glow of living electricity. Each creature emits its own rhythm, its own song of life, and sharks move through that silent symphony like ghosts guided by heartbeats. Great whites, hammerheads, and reef sharks alike swim through this unseen map, tracing the currents of life that ripple through the deep. In their world, nothing truly hides. Even the stillness of the sand breathes with signals. Where sharks move in mystery, tuna blaze in motion. Sleek, metallic, and built for speed, they are the sprinters of the sea. Some species can slice through water at nearly 50 miles per hour, faster than a running human, and for far longer. Their bodies are perfect machines, streamlined like torpedoes, with retractable fins and tails built for endless movement. Unlike most fish, tuna are warm-blooded, their muscles heated by internal circulation. This allows them to chase prey across vast distances, crossing oceans in tireless migration. Their muscles glow red with oxygen-rich blood, every fiber built for endurance. Watching a school of tuna shimmer beneath sunlight is to witness pure motion, fluid strength sculpted into living form. They are flight without wings, freedom without air, proof that grace and power exist in every corner of the blue. And then, sometimes, the sea remembers the sky. Flying squid burst from the water like rockets, propelled by jets of water expelled from their siphons. They shoot upward, their fins spreading wide as they glide dozens of feet through the air, droplets trailing behind in glittering arcs. High-speed cameras have captured the miracle of their flight, tiny fins flapping midair, steering like birds. Scientists believe these aerial escapes help them evade predators or conserve energy during long journeys. But to see one is to feel a sudden wonder, the ocean dreaming of wings, water reaching toward the clouds. For a moment, they are both sea and sky, suspended between worlds, gliding in silence above the waves before vanishing again into the deep. Beneath that same moonlit surface, dolphins drift in rhythm with the tides. They must breathe air, yet they live entirely in water. To solve this, nature gave them a rare gift, the ability to sleep with half their brain awake. One hemisphere rests, while the other stays alert, keeping them moving, breathing, and aware of the world around them. The awake side even keeps one eye open, watching for danger, scanning the quiet deep. After a time, the roles reverse, and the other half takes its turn at rest. Within pods, dolphins synchronize this strange balance, taking turns standing guard as they drift in slow, peaceful motion. Their sleep is half dream, half vigilance, a living meditation between wakefulness and surrender. Beneath the stars, they breathe in gentle cadence, half in the realm of rest, half in the endless blue. Deeper still, in the lightless abyss, lives a creature born from shadow, the gulprio. Its long black body glides like silk through darkness, but its mouth is a vast balloon of skin and bone, large enough to engulf prey half its size. In a world where food is scarce, this elastic jaw is its secret weapon. It can open wide in an instant, creating a vacuum that swallows whatever drifts too close. Its body glows faintly with bioluminescent light, a lure in the endless dark. Some deep-sea explorers describe it as an alien smile suspended in black water, both haunting and magnificent. The gulprio reminds us that even in the most remote corners of the earth, life has found a way, not merely to exist, but to astonish. And so the ocean continues, layer after layer of marvel and mystery, each creature a new expression of life's imagination. From the coral shallows to the abyssal plains, from shrimp that speak in light to fish that feel the heartbeat of the earth, the sea is a living cosmos. Every shimmer, every pulse, every strange adaptation tells the same quiet truth, that life is not just survival, but art. It adapts, transforms, and dreams in color, sound, and silence. Beneath the waves, evolution becomes poetry, and the ordinary becomes divine. The shrimp's glow, the shark's perception, the dolphin's dream, they are verses in an endless oceanic song, ancient and eternal. If you close your eyes, you can almost hear it, the rhythm of fins, the whisper of sand, the heartbeat of something vast and kind. The sea holds these stories not in words but in motion, each current carrying the memory of creation. From blue blood to flying squid, from drifting oarfish to half-sleeping dolphins, the ocean writes its history in light, rhythm, and depth. It is a world where sight is sound, where color is communication, where even silence hums with meaning. And somewhere in that great expanse, the anemone shrimp still glows unseen, flickering like a prayer in ultraviolet, proof that beauty thrives even in the smallest corners of the universe. In the silent kingdoms beneath the waves, life glows, pulses, and drifts in endless rhythm. Among these ancient waters, the gulprio swims like a living shadow, its tail ending in a flickering lure that shines like a tiny lantern. In the black pressure of the deep, this light is a whisper of promise, calling curious creatures close. When the moment comes, the gulper strikes with astonishing speed. Its jaws expand into a cavernous vacuum, swallowing prey whole. Then it drifts again through the vast stillness, its stomach glowing faintly with the bioluminescent bacteria of its meal. There is something almost peaceful about its existence, a slow rhythm of hunger and light, rising and falling like the deep ocean's own heartbeat. Few animals appear more alien, yet none are more perfectly suited to their quiet, endless home. Far above, where sunlight begins to dapple the shallows, small fish called cichlids perform acts of quiet creation. In clear freshwater streams, the males gather pebbles one by one, moving them carefully with their mouths. They arrange these stones in perfect circles and spirals, forming ridges that ripple like underwater art. Each pattern is a nest, an arena for courtship, a testament to patience. Females swim close, inspecting the designs, and the males with the most intricate constructions are rewarded with their attention. The beauty of these pebble rings is not random, it is purposeful art, born of instinct and devotion. Scientists have filmed these builders at work, comparing their precision to that of human architects. When the eggs are laid, the nests become nurseries, guarded by the fathers who chase away intruders with fierce loyalty. In those rippling waters, every circle of stone is a love letter written to the future, proof that beauty and survival often share the same breath. In the warm shallows of the Indo-Pacific, sea snakes glide like ribbons of living metal. Their scales shimmer gold and silver as they weave through coral gardens. Though they are reptiles, born to breathe air, they carry within them a miracle of adaptation. Evolution has gifted them the ability to absorb oxygen directly through their skin. Their scales are lined with capillaries so fine and so dense that nearly 1/3 of their oxygen comes this way. This allows them to dive for more than half an hour without surfacing. Their lungs, too, are unlike any others, stretching nearly the entire length of their bodies, helping them balance between sinking and floating. To divers, sea snakes seem ethereal, serpents of the tide, looping and turning with fluid grace. Despite their potent venom, they are shy, avoiding conflict, more curious than cruel. They live in two worlds, one of air and one of sea, and they breed from both, perfect symbols of balance between realms. On rocky coasts far away, the lobsters march. They do not age as we do. While most creatures slow and weaken, lobsters keep growing, shedding their shells and remaking themselves over and over. Each year they molt, crawling out of their old armor, soft and defenseless for a few dangerous days. But when their new shell hardens, they are reborn, larger, stronger, more vibrant. Some scientists believe that if disease or predators did not claim them, they might live forever, their cells constantly repaired by enzymes that resist decay. Some lobsters found in the North Atlantic are thought to be over a century old, still powerful and full of life. When they molt, they even regrow lost claws or legs. Beneath the waves, their story is one of transformation, not decline, age as evolution, growth as endurance. In the slow rhythm of the sea, a lobster's long life becomes a meditation on patience. But not all ocean dwellers stay within the water. Some squid, startled by predators or chasing prey, propel themselves out of the sea entirely. With explosive jets of water, they burst into the air, spreading their fins and arms like wings. For a few glorious seconds, they glide above the surface, skipping across sunlight and wind. Observers on ships have seen these moments, squid glinting silver in the light, traveling more than 100 feet before splashing down again. Scientists believe this brief flight saves energy, a leap that costs little but covers much. In that fleeting glide, the boundary between sea and sky dissolves. For an instant, the ocean remembers it once touched the clouds, and creatures of the deep rediscover the taste of air. Far north, where the air freezes and the world turns white, walruses rest upon drifting ice. Their massive bodies glisten with salt and frost. When they haul themselves from the water, they drive their long tusks into the edge of the floe, using them as tools to lift their immense weight. These tusks, elongated teeth, serve not just for dominance displays or defense, but for leverage, ladders in a world of shifting ice. The walruses live in tight, noisy herds. Their deep bellows echo across the Arctic, resonant and mournful. They feed on clams buried in the cold mud below, feeling for them with sensitive whiskers, then sucking them clean from their shells with powerful lips. Despite their size, they are gentle giants, social, affectionate, and warm in their frozen home. Watching them huddle together, steam rising from their bodies in the polar air, one sees not beasts of ice, but families of the frost, sculpted by endurance and bound by companionship. In the warm estuaries of Indonesia, another wonder hides, a creature of imagination given flesh. The mimic octopus glides across the sea floor, changing color and texture with every ripple. With astonishing precision, it can imitate more than 15 different species. When a predator approaches, it decides which illusion to wear. It might flatten itself and glide like a flounder, stretch two arms and slither like a sea snake, or raise its limbs in a crown to resemble a venomous lionfish. These disguises are not accidents. They are strategy, intelligence expressed through art. The mimic octopus chooses its form based on the threat it faces, crafting its survival in real time. Watching one transform is like watching creativity itself take shape, a painter remaking its canvas with every breath. It is proof that intelligence comes in many forms, not just in thought, but in the power to adapt, to imagine, to become something new. Even among smaller creatures, the sea holds partnerships of astonishing grace. Boxer crabs, no larger than a coin, walk across coral reefs carrying sea anemones in their claws. They hold them like living pom-poms, waving their stinging tentacles at any would-be predator. The anemones, in return, receive bits of food and the chance to travel to new feeding grounds. It is a dance of mutual survival, each partner giving what the other lacks. If a crab loses one anemone, It performs a remarkable act. It tears the remaining one in half. Each half regenerates into a full clone, restoring the perfect pair. Watching them, one sees life reduced to its simplest truth: cooperation is power. Among coral gardens glowing in shifting light, these tiny crustaceans perform a ballet of biology, proof that even in the smallest corners of the sea, balance and partnership define existence. Far below, in the black Antarctic waters, the colossal squid drifts unseen. Heavier and bulkier than even the legendary giant squid, it reigns in the dark like a myth. Its tentacles are lined not only with suckers but with swiveling hooks, each one capable of turning and locking into flesh. These weapons are made for battle against large prey such as the Patagonian toothfish, which can grow hundreds of pounds. Almost no human has seen the colossal squid alive. What we know comes from fragments, from rare captures in trawlers' nets, and from the scars on sperm whales that hunt them. Its eyes, nearly the size of dinner plates, are among the largest in the animal kingdom, capable of detecting the faintest bioluminescence in the void. Down there, in freezing blackness, this creature drifts like a thought in the mind of the ocean, vast, silent, and unseen. Closer to shore, something ancient and motionless thrives. Sea sponges, either plant nor true animal, are living filters. They are among the oldest multicellular life forms on Earth, tracing their lineage back more than 500 million years. A single large sponge can filter thousands of liters of seawater each day, drawing it through countless tiny pores and canals. Inside their labyrinthine bodies, specialized cells beat their flagella in a constant rhythm, pulling water in, removing bacteria, plankton, and nutrients, then sending it out again, clean and renewed. Through this quiet labor, sponges purify their world, keeping reefs alive and oceans balanced. Some species can live for thousands of years, slowly growing into massive forms that resemble coral towers. Their skeletons, made of silica or calcium, shape the landscape of the seafloor. In their stillness lies immense activity, in their silence, a heartbeat of the planet. They are the patient lungs of the sea, breathing on behalf of everything that lives within it. And deeper still, beyond the reach of light, there are fish that have never seen the sun. In the eternal darkness of the abyss, sight is useless. Over countless generations, these fish have lost their eyes entirely, their sockets sealed by smooth skin. Yet blindness is not absence, it is adaptation. They navigate their world through vibration, pressure, and touch, sensing the faintest tremors in the water. Their bodies are covered in lateral lines, nervous systems attuned to motion, capable of detecting even a distant flicker of current. Some produce their own light, glowing gently to communicate, attract prey, or find mates in the black. In these depths, where darkness is infinite, life does not despair, it invents new ways to see. The sea is a library of possibilities. In every current, every scale, every breath, there is evidence of life's imagination. From the cichlid's delicate architecture to the mimic octopus's artful illusions, from the walrus's icy wisdom to the squid's moment of flight, nature writes endlessly, revising itself with grace. The ocean does not merely contain life, it composes it, each creature a note in a vast, fluid symphony. Beneath the waves, time slows. The gulper eel glows softly in hunger and peace. Pebbles shift in rivers where tiny architects build their homes. Sea snakes twist through gardens of coral, drawing air through their skin. Lobsters shed their armor, reborn in the silence. Squid leap into sunlight, tasting freedom. Walruses climb the cold, their tusks carving their survival into ice. Octopuses dream themselves into other forms. Crabs wield living weapons that sting and dance. Sponges breathe for the sea, and eyeless fish drift through their shadowed kingdoms. Together they form a living map, each thread woven into the great tapestry of the deep. There are fish that live in total darkness, creatures whose world has never known light. Over countless generations, their eyes have withered away, replaced by extraordinary senses of touch, vibration, and pressure. They can detect the slightest ripple, the faintest pulse of water displaced by movement, some even sensing electric fields or chemical traces invisible to the human eye. In these eternal shadows, sight would only waste energy, so evolution gifted them something subtler, awareness without vision. They do not navigate through images, but through sensation, perceiving the delicate flow of water, the shape of obstacles, the rhythm of life around them, as if they feel the world rather than see it. Their blindness is not a loss but a transformation, a testament to nature's adaptability, proving that life will always find new ways to understand its surroundings, even when the light is gone. Far above them, in warm coastal waters, manatees drift like slow-moving clouds, gentle giants shaped by time and tide. Look closely at their broad flippers and you'll notice something strangely familiar: small, rounded fingernails. Beneath the skin, their bones resemble those of a human hand, 5 digits from an ancestor that once walked on land. Those nails, tiny and useless, are echoes of an ancient story, reminders of a time when the manatee's kin grazed on leaves instead of seagrass. Today, manatees use their flippers for steering, grazing, and holding vegetation as they feed lazily in calm bays. Their patience is unmatched, spending entire days breathing, basking, and eating under sunlight filtered through blue water. The presence of those fingernails, ancient, unnecessary, but enduring, is a whisper from the past, a biological memory of evolution's layered storytelling, where nothing is erased, only rewritten. And in the same seas where manatees dream, dolphins live and learn. These intelligent mammals do not simply hunt, they teach, share, and pass down traditions. In certain coastal regions, mothers have been seen teaching their calves to use sponges as tools, fitting them over their snouts to protect themselves while foraging through rough seabeds. Others demonstrate how to herd fish into tight schools or even drive them toward beaches, coordinating with astonishing precision. Such behaviors are not instinct alone, they are culture, knowledge passed from one generation to the next. Each lesson is deliberate, each imitation a step toward mastery. Dolphins form societies that reflect intelligence, empathy, and cooperation, blurring the line between animal instinct and thoughtful intention. Their communication is complex, their bonds emotional, and through them, we glimpse a truth once denied, that culture belongs not just to humankind, but to all who learn, teach, and remember. In deeper, darker waters, stranger beings drift, the cookie-cutter shark among them, a predator that hunts by subtraction. Barely half a meter long, it preys upon giants, whales, tuna, even submarines. It latches onto its target with suction, twists its jaw, and carves out perfect circles of flesh, leaving wounds so precise they seem crafted by machines. Its name comes from this eerie accuracy. To mask itself, it glows faintly beneath, bioluminescent camouflage blending with moonlit waters. When an unsuspecting fish swims close, the shark lunges, bites, spins, and releases, taking a piece but not a life. In the vast theater of predators and prey, it survives not through brute strength but through innovation, a master of efficiency, leaving behind haunting, circular signatures on the living and the lifeless alike. Yet the sea is not only a place of wounds, it is also a cradle of rebirth. Among its drifters floats a tiny creature that defies time itself, Turritopsis dohrnii, the immortal jellyfish. When injured or starved, it performs the unthinkable, it reverts to youth, transforming its adult body back into its earliest stage, the polyp. Through a process called transdifferentiation, its cells change roles, regenerating new tissues and organs, effectively reversing aging. It's as if a butterfly could become a caterpillar again, erasing the passage of time. Each rebirth is a quiet rebellion against death, a soft defiance written in the language of biology. Scientists see in this jellyfish a glimpse of nature's greatest secret, the possibility that immortality might not be fantasy, but memory, hidden in the simplest of creatures. Floating in silver currents, it carries within its fragile form a promise that life, even when threatened, can sometimes begin anew. Far to the south, in the icy blackness around Antarctica, another miracle unfolds. Here, temperatures plunge below freezing, waters cold enough to crystallize blood. Yet the Antarctic nototheniod fish glides effortlessly through the freezing dark. Its secret is chemical, a set of antifreeze proteins circulating through its blood, preventing ice crystals from forming. These proteins latch onto the smallest shards of ice, halting their growth, allowing life to continue where it should not. Their blood, nearly transparent and lacking red pigment, carries oxygen slowly but steadily. Through this quiet adaptation, they endure in an environment where warmth is a myth. Scientists study them with awe, dreaming of ways to use their molecular miracle for preserving organs, protecting crops, or extending life itself. Each heartbeat of these fish is a whisper of defiance, warmth crafted from cold, endurance shaped from the impossible. And as these silent survivors move beneath the ice, the giants of the ocean, the whales, carry entire worlds on their skin. Humpbacks and gray whales host dense colonies of barnacles and tiny crustaceans upon thick patches of calloused skin. These living hitchhikers feed on plankton, turning the whale's vast body into a moving reef, a living island that drifts through the open sea. Each whale carries its own map of barnacles, unique as a fingerprint, allowing researchers to recognize individuals from afar. In sunlight, the barnacles glint pale white against gray skin, forming constellations across their bodies. The whales do not mind. The relationship harms little and adds life to life, an ancient partnership in motion. As they cross oceans, their immense forms cradle ecosystems, proving that even the largest creatures can carry the smallest lives with grace. Not all ocean dwellers are so vast. On the seafloor, scallops rest like delicate shells until danger stirs. Then, with a sudden rhythm, they clap their shells together, expelling jets of water that propel them backward. The motion is almost musical, a series of crisp bursts that send them fluttering like fans in slow dance. Along the rim of their shells are rows of brilliant blue eyes, tiny, glimmering sensors that detect light and shadow, helping them perceive movement. When the threat passes, they settle again, opening their shells to filter plankton from the current. With time, their shells become works of art, lined with iridescent colors, shaped by years of calm tides and quick escapes. Watching one swim is to witness elegance distilled into simplicity, a creature that flies without wings and dances without limbs, powered only by the applause of its own design. But perhaps the greatest architects of the sea are not fish, mammals, or even jellyfish, but coral. Though they appear as stone, each reef is alive, built by colonies of coral polyps no larger than grains of rice. These tiny animals secrete limestone skeletons beneath themselves, layer upon layer, forming massive structures that stretch for miles and endure for millennia. Within these reefs thrive entire worlds. A quarter of all marine species find shelter, food, and home among their ridges and caves. Coral live in symbiosis with microscopic algae that convert sunlight into energy, sustaining both partners in a delicate dance of life. At night, coral polyps emerge, extending their translucent tentacles to capture drifting plankton that sparkle under moonlit waves. Over time, their skeletons grow, recording the slow passage of centuries, the shifting of currents, and the warming of seas. Each reef is a living history book written in calcium and color, a monument to persistence and cooperation. Yet, as climate changes and waters warm, these silent builders face growing peril, their symbiotic partners fleeing, their colors fading to white. Still, even in death, their stone foundations remain, offering shelter and beginning anew. The sea, ever creative, fills voids with life again and again. From the blind fish of the abyss to the coral cities of the shallows, from gentle manatees with human-like hands to immortal jellyfish reborn from their own cells, the ocean is not merely a place, it is a chronicle of transformation. Every creature, no matter how strange or small, carries the signature of adaptation written in its form. The darkness that blinds some becomes the strength that guides them. The cold that freezes others becomes the spark that keeps them alive. The sea is a paradox of fragility and endurance, of fleeting beauty and timeless change. Within its endless depths, life experiments, fails, learns, and begins again, forever rewriting the story of what it means to survive. Coral is proof that even the smallest creatures, working together over countless generations, can build monuments strong enough to reshape the earth itself, forming vast reefs that stretch across miles of ocean floor and create entire ecosystems teeming with life, supporting a quarter of all marine species, and recording centuries of environmental history in their layered calcium skeletons. Each polyp a tiny architect secreting limestone and building slowly yet persistently, hosting microscopic algae that convert sunlight into energy in a delicate symbiosis that sustains both partners and allows life to flourish in fragile balance. Nearby, in the cold, clear waters near the poles, sea angels drift like living glass, tiny winged mollusks, relatives of snails that have shed their shells for freedom. Their translucent bodies pulse with rhythmic grace as they glide through icy currents, ethereal and ghost-like, yet capable predators feeding on equally fragile sea butterflies, their transparency making them nearly invisible, a shimmer of motion in endless blue, glowing faintly when sunlight filters through ice, seeming like spirits suspended in the ocean, demonstrating extreme adaptation. Creatures designed for beauty and survival in the delicate balance of polar waters. In warmer tropical seas, some fish have evolved 4 eyes to see above and below water simultaneously. The 4-eyed fish, Anableps, inhabits surface waters where air and sea meet, each eye split horizontally, the upper half adapted for vision in air, the lower for underwater vision, allowing it to simultaneously watch for predators above while seeking prey below, its dual-lens eyes bending light differently in each medium, perfecting focus in both worlds, making it a living bridge between air and water, a creature forever balancing 2 realms, a reflection of sky and shadow in mirrored eyes, a testament to nature's boundless imagination. Meanwhile, octopuses employ ink not merely as camouflage, but as sophisticated sensory sabotage. When threatened, they release clouds of dark pigment containing compounds that dull the sense of smell and taste in predators, sometimes shaping the ink into ghost-like decoys that mimic the octopus itself, while the real animal jets away, disappearing in a single pulse of movement, a masterclass in misdirection, chemistry, and artistry using melanin, the same pigment coloring human skin, to confuse, hide, and escape, turning survival into performance, a fleeting sculpture of water and memory. Nearby, seahorses drift upright among seagrass, delicate and meditative, their large eyes capable of moving independently, scanning opposite directions at once, allowing one eye to monitor predators while the other searches for prey, converging both eyes with pinpoint precision to strike, a near-complete awareness of surroundings, a living example of mindfulness in motion, mirrored and synchronized even during courtship. Their gaze a constant assessment of the world in all directions. In the crushing darkness of the deep, male anglerfish have evolved an extraordinary reproductive strategy. Tiny males, encountering females 10 times their size, bite and fuse with the female's body, their organs dissolving over time until only gonads remain, nourished by her blood, existing solely to fertilize her eggs, sometimes multiple males fusing with a single female. A literal and permanent connection ensuring reproduction in an environment where mates are scarce, a hauntingly intimate biological symbiosis. Among rocky reefs, lobsters communicate chemically through jets of urine from openings near their antennae, conveying identity, mood, and social hierarchy, reducing conflict, attracting mates, and even allowing recognition of familiar individuals by scent alone, demonstrating that in the darkness of the sea, where vision is limited and sound diffuses, chemical signals become a silent social network, messages carried not by sight or sound but by invisible waves of memory and instinct. The frilled shark, a living fossil, drifts through depths like a creature out of prehistory, its long serpentine body lined with needle-like teeth, unchanged for over 80 million years, hunting squid and fish with sudden lunges, its jaw extending forward in a perfect evolutionary trap, moving through time as gracefully as through water, a reminder that some designs, perfected by nature, remain eternal. Squids too employ light as both weapon and lure. Bioluminescent organs called photophores attract prey, communicate with others, or erase shadows against faint downwelling light and counter-illumination, while some species flash or dim patterns to signal or startle, transforming darkness into living light, drifting lanterns of blue and green, radiant tricksters that survive by creating their own illumination. Each flicker a heartbeat of the abyss. Dolphins, masters of intelligence and play, blow bubble rings, spinning shimmering halos that drift upward, shaping and sculpting them, nudging them into smaller circles, turning breath into art, a playful social tradition learned and passed across generations, demonstrating creativity, curiosity, and joy, intelligence expressed not in survival alone but in fascination and artistry. Laughter like clicks echoing in the blue, a reminder that wonder too is part of cognitive life. In Arctic lakes and polar seas, some fish endure freezing solid, their hearts stopping, blood crystallizing, Yet they survive thawing alive when temperatures rise, a testament to biological resilience and adaptation to extreme conditions, life persisting where it seems impossible, rewriting the limits of endurance. Coral, sea angels, four-eyed fish, octopuses, seahorses, anglerfish, lobsters, frilled sharks, bioluminescent squids, playful dolphins, and freezing-resistant fish together illustrate the astonishing diversity of marine adaptation, where life has found ways to navigate, hunt, reproduce, and communicate across lightless depths, icy waters, and sunlit shallows, where every strategy, whether using chemistry, light, eyes, or behavior, serves survival and reproduction, yet sometimes transcends it to include play, artistry, or absolute devotion. In these oceans, nature experiments endlessly, producing creatures that are simultaneously delicate and deadly, ancient and innovative, ephemeral and eternal, each with specialized adaptations shaped over millennia, demonstrating the fluidity of life's forms and functions, the boundless creativity of evolution, and the resilience of species across time and space, proving that even the tiniest organism, acting in concert or alone, can reshape entire ecosystems, survive extreme conditions, and inspire awe through forms, behaviors, and strategies so extraordinary that they challenge human imagination, reminding us that the sea is not merely a habitat but a living chronicle of survival, adaptation, and beauty, a vast, interconnected tapestry where each creature contributes to a story older than humanity, ever-changing yet persistent, delicate yet resilient, mysterious yet legible to those who observe carefully, an eternal testament to the ingenuity, patience, and artistry inherent in life itself, where invisibility, transparency, bioluminescence, independent vision, chemical communication, and extraordinary reproductive strategies are not anomalies but natural innovations, each solving a unique problem in a unique environment, illustrating that evolution is both sculptor and storyteller, writing endless narratives in water and light, shadow and ice, teaching patience, ingenuity, and the astonishing diversity of life for anyone willing to look, think, and marvel, where coral cities rise like monuments, sea angels drift like ethereal spirits, four-eyed fish span two worlds at once, octopuses vanish in inked phantoms, seahorses observe all around with meditative focus, anglerfish males become permanent extensions of females, lobsters speak through scented streams, frilled sharks carry prehistory in their bodies, squids shine as living lanterns, dolphins shape joy from bubbles, and frozen fish endure extremes, together creating an unbroken web of survival, adaptation, and wonder that flows through every corner of the ocean, connecting light and dark, surface and depth, ice and tropical warmth, play and necessity, fragility and strength, a continuous single narrative of life's ingenuity and resilience, a testament to the boundless creativity, persistence, and interconnection of life on Earth. Inside them, special proteins and sugars protect cells from ice damage, holding life in suspended animation so that when spring returns and waters warm, these Arctic and polar fish thaw slowly, their hearts resuming as if nothing had happened, a cycle of deathless sleep that resembles nature's own cryogenic preservation, a biological miracle that scientists study to understand how life can pause and resume. With potential applications in medicine, organ preservation, and space travel, beneath the ice, they drift in perfect stillness, embodying resilience, the power to freeze, rest, and live again, a testament to life's ingenuity. On the coral reefs of the Pacific, giant clams rest like living jewels, their massive shells opening wide to reveal rippling mantles shimmering with blue, green, and gold light, a radiance produced by millions of microscopic algae living within their tissues, a partnership where sunlight is harvested to nourish both host and symbiont, the clam protecting the algae while benefiting from their photosynthesis. Iridescent cells scattering light deep into tissue so that even dim rays reach the algae. A cooperation that allows some clams to live over a century and grow larger than bathtubs, glowing like stained glass beneath the waves, living windows into mutualism, a luminous demonstration of interspecies symbiosis. In coral shallows, tiny pistol shrimp wield astonishing power, their one oversized claw snapping shut to eject a cavitating bubble that collapses with explosive force, generating a shockwave loud enough to stun or kill prey, a microcosm of extreme physics manifest in a fragile creature no longer than a human finger, the implosion reaching temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun and producing a brief flash of light, echoing like underwater thunder, while the shrimp itself remains small, shy, and often sharing burrows with gobies, alerting them to danger in exchange for shelter, its strength not in size but in precision and speed, showing that even the tiniest beings can manipulate energy on vast scales. Far from shore, in tropical seas, sea snakes drift gracefully through rolling waves, fully marine, freed from the constraints of land, breathing air but capable of holding it for over an hour, their flattened tails propelling them like paddles. They give birth to live young in the open ocean, tiny snakes emerging fully formed, ready to hunt, coiled within their mother until the moment of birth. A strategy that ensures generations flourish entirely at sea, a commitment written in scales and salt. A surrender to the aquatic realm, illustrating evolution's capacity to rewrite life's rules for survival. Among the protective tentacles of sea anemones, clownfish live in tightly structured hierarchies, the largest female at the top. When they find a mussel or clam, sea stars employ a method of feeding that seems almost impossible, prying the shell open slightly with their tube feet and then pushing their stomachs out through their mouths, inserting them directly between the shells to release digestive enzymes that dissolve the prey right where it lies, after which the stomach neatly retracts, allowing them to consume prey far larger than their mouths would suggest. And some species even possess the astonishing ability to regenerate lost arms or other body parts, rebuilding themselves from fragments, a testament to their quiet yet formidable presence. They move slowly, yet every motion is deliberate, each action efficient, and in tide pools and coral reefs, they embody a paradoxical combination of gentleness and power, demonstrating that the most unassuming creatures can wield astonishing abilities. Dolphins, by contrast, turn hunting into a sophisticated ballet, herding schools of fish into tight bait balls, some diving deep to drive the school upward, while others leap and slap the water's surface, creating a coordinated chaos of sound and motion that disorients the fish and allows the dolphins to take turns darting through, snapping up prey in perfectly timed bursts. A strategy so precise that seabirds often join the frenzy from above, creating a swirling spectacle of movement, light, and communication that rivals the coordination of human teams. And once the hunt ends, the ocean falls back into serene order, dolphins drifting apart in calm formations, the memory of their choreography lingering as a silent testament to intelligence operating in perfect harmony. In the shadowy depths, some squid have evolved a defense both rare and beautiful. Instead of dark ink, they release bioluminescent clouds of glowing mucus when threatened, a spectral display of ghostly blue-green light that distracts predators while the squid vanishes in the opposite direction, turning escape into a fleeting spectacle that transforms visibility into invisibility, revealing that even danger in the ocean can manifest as stunning artistry, fleeting flashes of brilliance that dissolve back into the vast darkness like a dream fading upon waking. Among the coral gardens of the Indo-Pacific, a creature of whimsy, the leaf-sheep sea slug, drifts almost unnoticed, barely an inch long, resembling a miniature green sheep complete with black eyes and ear-like rhinophores, its body adorned with leaf-shaped appendages filled with stolen chloroplasts from algae, enabling it to perform photosynthesis like a plant and generate energy from sunlight. A living fusion of animal and plant known as kleptoplasty, which allows it to blend seamlessly among the seaweed while its glowing green color hints at the quiet marvels of evolution, a reminder that the ocean is a gallery of forms where biology and artistry intersect. Small goby fish in the volcanic islands of the Pacific perform a journey of extraordinary endurance, migrating from the ocean into mountain rivers, climbing waterfalls hundreds of feet high using suction cup-like fins formed from fused pelvic and mouth parts, inching upward against roaring water over days, driven by instinct and determination until they reach the pools above to mature and repeat the cycle. A quiet triumph of persistence in creatures small enough to fit in a child's hand. When a whale dies and sinks to the ocean floor, its massive carcass becomes a nutrient-rich whale fall, sustaining entire ecosystems for decades. Scavengers like crabs, worms, and hagfish arrive first, followed by bacteria and other organisms, supporting species found nowhere else and creating a temporary paradise where even death nourishes life, completing a cycle as vast as the whale's own journeys. Sharks, sleek and silent, conceal another marvel. Microscopic teeth on their skin called dermal denticles, shaped like diamond blades, reducing drag and turbulence while offering protection, speed, and efficiency, a design so precise that engineers mimic it in swimsuits and aircraft coatings, showing evolution's craftsmanship on the smallest scale. Lanternfish, abundant yet largely unseen, drift in billions through the ocean's twilight zone, glowing softly with photophores along their bellies, rising nightly to feed and descending by dawn in vertical migrations that regulate the planet's carbon cycle, their hidden lives driving vital energy exchanges that connect surface and depths and sustain larger predators. Hermit crabs, born without shells, wander in search of discarded snail shells, inhabiting those that fit perfectly, a nomadic existence reliant on resourcefulness and timing, each selection a matter of survival. Across the seas, myriad creatures, from starfish and dolphins to squids, sea slugs, gobies, whales, sharks, lanternfish, and hermit crabs, reveal an ocean alive with ingenuity, patience, endurance, beauty, and strategy, a complex web of life where each being, large or small, plays a role in a grand narrative of adaptation, cooperation, and survival. An unfolding story of nature's quiet brilliance and astonishing creativity, where each movement, light, and action, whether in feeding, escaping, migrating, or nurturing ecosystems, becomes a testament to the profound intelligence, artistry, and resilience of life beneath the waves, reminding us that the ocean is not merely a body of water but a vast theater of evolutionary triumphs and subtle wonders, a place where persistence, strategy, symbiosis, and beauty converge in an endless display of life's ingenuity, complexity, and elegance. As they grow, hermit crabs must constantly search for new homes, moving from one shell to the next in a perpetual cycle of seeking, swapping, and adaptation. And when resources are scarce, entire groups gather in seemingly chaotic yet orderly chains, each crab taking the next largest shell available in a ritual of cooperation disguised as confusion. A delicate social dance of survival where borrowed homes protect against predators yet remain temporary, carrying histories of previous inhabitants. So that watching a hermit crab scuttle across sand, dragging its spiraled refuge, feels like observing the eternal rhythm of the sea itself, a creature forever in motion, never settling, always searching, embodying both fragility and resilience. Dolphins, in their intelligence and social complexity, exemplify another layer of oceanic ingenuity, teaching their young how to use tools in ways that are profoundly reminiscent of culture. In the clear shallows of Shark Bay, Australia, mothers demonstrate how to use sea sponges as protective coverings over their snouts while foraging, guiding calves through imitation until the act is mastered. Knowledge passed not through genes but through observation and memory, a quiet revolution of learning that allows tool-using dolphins to access food others cannot reach, revealing patience, curiosity, and foresight that mirrors our own capacity for wisdom. And beneath the waves, intelligence takes forms that are both alien and familiar, a symphony of thought expressed in play, strategy, and subtle communication. Swordfish, with their sleek, elongated bodies, carry an internal furnace of focus, special muscles generating heat around the eyes and brain, ensuring vision remains razor-sharp even in the freezing, dim depths where most other fish slow down, allowing them to track prey with lightning-fast reflexes, their eyes burning with evolutionary precision, as if carrying the fire of survival within. Cutting through the blue with elegance and intent. Octopuses, the fluid thinkers of the sea, display intelligence in forms unimaginable to terrestrial minds, capable of unscrewing jars from the inside, their 8 arms each containing semi-independent nervous systems that allow intricate coordination, exploring the world through taste, touch, and curiosity, plotting escapes through impossibly small gaps, revealing a mind that feels as much as it thinks. Alien in its softness yet alive with problem-solving, creativity, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. In the abyss, some fish have evolved to produce red bioluminescence, a hidden color invisible to most predators yet perfectly visible to their own kind, allowing dragonfish and flashlight fish to communicate and hunt under the veil of darkness, creating a secret language in a world where red light disappears first, turning stealth into radiance, invisibility into brilliance. A paradox of life in the deep where light itself becomes camouflage, moving like spectral embers through the endless shadow. As the tides settle and the last ripples fade, the ocean grows still once more, and all around, the hidden world continues its quiet work, coral breathing in a slow pulse, manta rays gliding through moonlit water, plankton drifting like tiny stars in motion, and every creature, from the smallest shrimp to the largest whale, moving in rhythm with an ancient song older than mountains, steady as a heartbeat, the lullaby of the sea. Tonight you have wandered through coral cities, frozen seas, realms of color, silence, and bioluminescent light, witnessing lives that flourish without sunlight, voices traveling through water, and worlds built from patience, adaptation, and the unyielding rhythm of survival. Even as you rest, the ocean continues, vast, calm, alive, rolling beneath the surface of the earth, tireless, carrying life that neither hurries nor waits, reminding us that the world is larger and more intricate than we can ever see or measure, that beneath every wave lies a mystery, another story awaiting discovery with each sunrise. As you close your eyes, imagine yourself drifting in that tranquil blue, weightless, soundless, carried by the gentle rhythm of waves, above fading light turning silver, below darkness glimmering with faint living sparks, the water moving you without demand or direction, a cradle of motion ancient and infinite. Breathe slowly like the tide returning to shore, let your thoughts drift like sand beneath the waves, reshaped with every exhale, feeling the endless, patient kindness of the ocean surrounding you, and if sleep has not yet claimed you, allow it to carry you past the waves, past the fading light, into the calm heart of the sea itself, where dreams move with the water's rhythm and wonder is infinite, a quiet journey beneath the surface. Into places where life, brilliance, and mystery intertwine, and in this sanctuary, may your rest be deep, your imagination free, and your spirit cradled by the timeless heartbeat of the ocean, carrying you gently into the night, where every current, glow, and creature joins in a vast, eternal dance of survival, connection, and beauty, and with each exhale, you sink deeper into the tranquil blue, where nothing hurries, nothing waits. And the world beneath the waves continues its quiet, tireless, magnificent vigil, full of life that is patient, infinite, and kind, an endless expanse that watches over you as you drift into dreams, a lullaby older than the stars, carrying you gently to quiet places where wonder never ends.